Okay, today we're going to talk about degrees and radians, going over a few things to make sure that we remember. Is from the center of a circle to the edge, that is a radius. And then going through the center from one edge to the other, that's your diameter. And our distance around a circle, starting all the way around, that is your circumference. And we've already talked about it in class that the formula for circumference is 2 pi r. Now we're going to talk about the unit circle. So let's talk about the unit circle means the radius is 1. So if I put in a radius of 1, their circumference is just 2 pi. So that means if I measure all the way around and come back where I started, that's 2 pi. Which also means halfway would just be 1 pi. And that's kind of where we're going to talk about how half a circle is pi. Okay, so this is a picture of what a radian is. So we start off here with a radius drawn. Then we're going to take that radius and drop it on the edge of the circle. And that is what 1 radian is. This is 1 radian, is that measure. Then moving it around, this shows us 2 radians, and then 3 radians. And this little bit, guess what that is? 1.14159. So that shows us how half a circle is equal to pi radians. Okay, so a radian is the distance traveled along the unit circle in a counterclockwise direction. That's a positive direction. These are our two conversion factors that we're going to use. Start with the degree, I multiply it by pi over 180, and starting with radians, I multiply it by 180 over pi. It's not a big deal. If you think about if I start with degrees, kind of go into what you did on your in chemistry. If I start with say 45 degrees, well, I need the degrees on the bottom and the pi on the top, so the degrees can factor out, and that's how many it would be. So if I start with radians, like 2 pi over 3 radians, then I want my pi on the bottom and my 180 on top, so then my pi's can cancel out. Okay, now we're going to start our conversion. A couple things I want to remind you about, which I know you know, is this is the coordinate graph, and I know this is where we're going to start our 0 degrees. This is up here at 90, and that's in quadrant 1. And then 90 to 180 is in quadrant 2. 180 to 270 is in quadrant 3. And from 270 to 360, that's in quadrant 4. So 360 is back over here. Because it's important for us to recognize what quadrant these values are in, because we have to figure out the coordinates of where the radians are, and we need to know if they're positive or negative. Okay, so 30 degrees is in quadrant 1, and the way I would convert it is I would do my conversion. So I start with 30 degrees. So that means I want the degrees on the bottom and the pi on the top. So then I could do my cross reducing, and 30 goes in there 1 time, goes in there 6 times. So this is pi over 6. That is what I'm doing when I'm writing these values down. So now pi over 4, I start with pi over 4. And my conversion is either 180 over pi or pi over 180. And since I have pi on top, I need pi on the bottom. So now 180 divided by 4 is 45 degrees. So that's the math that we're doing. Oh, I put it in the wrong place. Let's get that in the right place. Sorry about that. So that is 45 degrees, and that is also in quadrant 1. 60 degrees is in quadrant 1 also. So I'm going to do the same thing of doing 60 times pi over 180, and that's going to give me pi over 3. And now pi over 2, I'm going to start off with pi over 2, and I'm going to multiply that by pi on the bottom and 180 on top, and that is 90 degrees. So that's not really on the axis. I mean, on quadrant, that's going to be on the y-axis. So now I continue 120. Now we've moved over into quadrant 2. And so I would do the same thing of 120 times pi over 180. And then that's going to give me 2 pi over 3. So we continue on. As we go through, I'm now just going to write the answers. You get the math of what we're doing. So the next one, 3/4 pi is 135 degrees. So that makes that quadrant 2. 150 is in quadrant 2. And I multiply that by 180 over pi, and that gives me 5 pi over 6. And then pi, hopefully remember from that little video we watched, that's 180 degrees, and that is on the x-axis. Now I continue with 210. 210 is in quadrant 3, because that's over 180, and that's going to be 7 pi over 6. And then 5/4 pi, I convert that and I get 225 degrees. That also is in quadrant 3. 240 is also in quadrant 3, it's less than 270. And then that's going to give me, at 240, it is going to be 4 pi over 3. And then 3 over 2 pi, that's 1.5 pi. Hopefully that makes sense to you. That is going to be at 270 degrees. 1.5 would be down at the bottom. And that is going to be on our y-axis at the bottom. 300 is in quadrant 4. And that is going to be 5 pi over 3. And then 7 pi over 4 is going to be 315 degrees, and that is also in quadrant 4. 330 is in quadrant 4, and that is going to be 11 pi over 6. And then the last is 360 degrees, which is 2 pi, and that is going to be on our x-axis. Okay, standard form of an angle on the unit circle is where the vertex is at the origin, and one side, the initial or terminal side, is on the x-axis. So initial side on the x-axis, it's ending over here. So that's what we want to make sure that you do. We also know that counterclockwise is positive. So counterclockwise is positive, clockwise is negative. So this is a negative direction, that is a positive direction. And then when two angles end at the same side, that same terminal side, they're called coterminal. Okay, now just to get used to where these angles are located, a 120-degree angle would be in about that position. And then to show it in standard form, I would show the direction in the positive direction. That shows me that that is 120 and not the negative 240. So that's kind of what we're looking to do. Pi over 6, that is almost 2 pi, so that puts me over here in quadrant 4. And there again, I would start at the 0 and move all the way around to that angle. Negative 40 is also says since the 0 is at the x-axis, I go in the negative direction this way, 40 degrees. So that's how that would look. And the negative 5 force would take me over 1 pi and then a little bit more, 1 1/4, and it's in the negative direction. So that's over here in quadrant 2, and I'm going in the negative direction. 400 pi is 360 plus 40, so it says I go around and then some. So I'm going to end up with 40 extra degrees, so it's over there, but I would start here and come all the way around, so that's more than the 360. And then 17 over 6 pi is really 2 pi, because 2 pi would be 12 on top, and then plus 5 pi over 6. So 5 pi over 6 is almost at pi, so I know I'm going to terminate over here, but I'm going to start and go all the way around and in there. Okay, so coterminal angles share the same initial and terminal sides. To find the coterminal angles, you either add or subtract a full rotation of the circle. Full rotation in degrees is 360, or full rotation in radians is 2 pi. So if I start with 60 degrees, I know that that's over here in quadrant 1. So I could take 60 degrees and I can add 360, and that's going to equal to 420 degrees in the positive. Or to go negative, I could do 60 degrees minus 360 degrees and get a negative 300 degrees. So one's positive and one is negative. That's how we're going to do it, the positive and the negative. So positive and the negative on the next one. So the next one is 2/3 pi. So 2/3 pi means it's almost at full pi. So that puts me over here in quadrant 2 at 2/3 pi. So if I take 2 pi over 3, 2/3 pi, and I add 2 pi to it, it's going to be 8 pi over 3. That's your positive. Or I take 2 pi over 3 and I subtract 2 pi. That's going to give me negative 4 pi over 3. Those would be coterminal angles. Okay, the next one, we're going to do positive and negative. And so the next one is 240 degrees. So 240 puts me in quadrant 3. So I'm going to take my 240 degrees, I'm going to add 360 and get 600 degrees. Or I'm going to take my 240 degrees, subtract 360 degrees, and I'm going to get a negative 120 degrees. And then lastly, negative pi over 4. So my positive and my negative. So my negative pi over 4, which would be, I didn't draw it, which would be down here in quadrant 4. And now I'm going to add to it 2 pi. And that's going to give me 7 pi over 4. Or I could start with the negative pi over 4 and subtract 2 pi. And that's going to give me negative 9 pi over 4. So when they're asking for coterminal angles, you're either going to add or subtract a full rotation. Okay, now reference angle. It's the positive acute angle between the terminal side of theta and the x-axis. That has a lot of information. The positive means that the answer is always going to be positive, obviously. And then the other one is that it's an acute angle. Remember, acute is less than 180. So those are the two things that we have to keep in mind as we're doing this. So when we are working with quadrant 2, quadrant 1, that is the reference angle. We don't have to worry about changing anything. But when we're in quadrant 2, you're going to To find theta prime, which means the new angle, the reference angle, you're going to take 180 and you're going to subtract that theta, and that will give you theta prime, or the reference angle. If you're in radians, you're going to start with pi and subtract that angle that's in radians. If I am in quadrant 3, I'm going to get theta prime, I'm going to start with my angle theta and subtract 180, or I'm going to start with, theta and subtract pi. So 2 and 3, I'm using 180, and quadrant 1, I start with 180 or pi, and I subtract the angle. In quadrant 3, I start with the angle, subtract 180 or subtract pi, and that makes sense because that's something greater than 180 or it's greater than pi, so that one makes sense. So now when we move on to quadrant 4, we got to do the whole 360. So that's the thing to remember here. To get theta prime, we're going to start with 360 and subtract and subtract the angle, or we're going to start with 2 pi and subtract the angle. So that's the things we have to remember when we're trying to find the reference angle. That's going to make more sense when we work with our unit circle and fill in those. Okay, 150 degrees, that puts me in quadrant 2. So that says for me to find my theta prime, I'm going to start with 180. I'm going to subtract the 150 they gave me, and its reference angle is 30 degrees. Pi over 4, that's a little bit more than 1 pi, so that's more than 180, so that puts me down here in quadrant 3. So I'm going to take my 5 pi over 4, and I'm going to subtract a pi, and that gives me 1/4 pi, or pi over 4. That's its reference angle. And then 315, that puts me in quadrant 4 because that's greater than 270. So here I'm going to start with 360 and subtract my angle of 315, and that gives me theta at 45 degrees. And then 5/3 pi, that is almost 6/3, which would be 2 whole pi. So that one is going to get me also in quadrant 4. So I would start with 2 pi and subtract 5 pi over 3, and that's going to give me pi over 3 as its theta prime, or reference angle.